Hello? How are you today? Oh, no, I get it away. Okay, how are you guys doing today? I'm going to put on a little Christmas movie. Please hold. Exit. Oh, look what it is. The Muppet Christmas Carol. I like to put on these Christmas movies for the dogs. Free. So I will play that for them because I'm getting to run out of the house for a second. I just got this food for the dogs, and can I just tell you? Well, first of all, I'm trying to turn this down. First of all, they don't love it. Like, they're eating it, but they don't love it. It's not like their favorite food they've ever had. And PP is supposed to have soft food, but you can see he is not. PP, you're not paying attention. And see, it has like real carrots in there. Look, it has like real carrots. And stuff. And, but Tia sent me this message last night, and she was like, look at all my props, my hairbrush. This is like for this, so I can, before I do my videos. Tia said I should make food for PP with rice and chicken and a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually, I wrote it down what she said, but I'm also going to look up, recipes online to make homemade dog food, and then I think I'm just going to make it for him, because it'd be really easy, wouldn't it, PP? He's so excited. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to try that. I mean, maybe tonight or definitely tomorrow. So I'm going to try that. I have my, hold on a second here. I have my scents right there. Today, do you guys want to know what we're smelling in the house? Boo Radley, you better run! What are we listening to? Okay, so Boo Radley, look. He goes and gets food. Watch. Go, Boo. Go, Boo. He'll go get food, and then he'll carry it to the staircase. Watch. You caught me. Don't mind me. I'm just over here. Hold on. Hold on. He usually takes food, and then he goes and he takes it over the staircase and eats it. It's so cute. I don't know why he does that. Well, we'll see. Anyway, so here's the smell I am smelling today, and it is called Sugar Spice. And it is from Sensationals, and it's really strong. It's $2. It was $1.99. It's really strong, and it smells like cinnamon sugar. It's really good. I like it. And you guys are going to be so excited. I put up my Christmas tree, my little Christmas tree. Now look, that little flocked Christmas tree, and then these are. Now my aunt gave me like 50 of them, but these are the only ones that will fit on the tree. These are the Christopher Rathco ornaments. See? Aren't they so pretty? They're like those metal ornaments. And they're so cool. So I have like, I got like 8 of them on there. I want to get like a little angel or something for the tree. But I don't know. I'm not really sure I'm going to do any more decorating. But even if I don't, I at least put up a tree, and I'm so excited about that. And I sent it to Alex, and Alex is like, oh, I'm so glad that you did that. It makes me so happy. So yeah, I'm really happy about it too. And this is so weird. I never sit in this chair, and I used to. So when my mom lived here, she had this chair, she had an oriental rug here, and then the table, which is right there, the dining room table, was actually over there. And so right over here, she had this like burgundy couch, which has since been thrown away. This was all carpeted. We have hardwood floors now, but we got hardwood floors, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something. And but it was like all carpeted, and then she, with like this cream carpet, it was disgusting. And then she had these oriental rugs on top of it. And then, so there was this burgundy couch, and then there were, oh, I forgot, there were 2 chairs there. They were like blue velvet chairs, like light blue. And then she had this chair, they were like that way facing this way. So they were like, they were facing that way with a little table in between. And then the couch was right there. And then this chair has always been right here. And we would sit here and drink coffee, and we would talk. And behind the couch was this. And it didn't have any pictures or anything on it, though. She had this huge thing, which I cannot find. This, like... Oh, it's like this... It's like this Japanese bowl. It's very, very cool. And she would put pine cones or like orchids or something in it. And at Christmas time, she always put the cinnamon ornament or the cinnamon pine cones in it. And I got some of those. And so I really want some of those. So yeah. And the secretary desk has always been there where it is. It's like impossible to move. It's so heavy. And then, oh, see over there where she has that table. That was actually right here, and she had a big stereo system with like a record player and stuff on it. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but it's weird. I haven't sat in this chair in a long time. It makes me kind of think of my mom. It was so weird on Thanksgiving. I went to the gas station before, while Alex was getting ready. I may have talked about this in my vlog, but I said, okay, Mom, if you're here and you're with Aunt Kathy thinking about me and Caroline today, the first song that plays on my iPod will be something that you put on there. And it was Blowin' in the Wind by, it was Stevie Wonder's cover of it at Bob Dylan's 35th anniversary. And I love that version of it so much. If you've never heard it, it's Stevie Wonder live singing it for Bob Dylan, and it's fantastic. And then Alex came and he got in the car with me, and I was just like thinking about my aunt having passed away this year, and this being like the first major holiday, and I lost my shit and I started bawling my eyes out. And I told Caroline, I said I didn't even expect it. So yeah, I'm so happy that I got her ornaments and I got to use that. I think it would make her really happy. My tree's kind of very, very little, but like look. Like for our house, I was like, because when I put it up, I was like, oh, I kind of miss having a bigger Christmas tree. But I do think it's very perfect. And let's just look at it without the lights. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. I mean, it's bigger than what I was going to do. So, it's bigger than what I was going to do. So. And I took a picture of little Pee-Pee with this little Christmas hat on it, and you guys can go look at that. It's on my Instagram. Go check out my Instagram. It's on there. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go run some errands. It's 7:40. I'm kind of surprised my husband is not home yet. He said he had to work late. He, like, FaceTimed me from work, and he was, like, I'm like, you're so funny. He was like, well, I thought I could talk to you while I was doing this stuff. I was like, okay. So, anyway, you guys, I'm going to get off here, and I will be back a little bit later. Love you. Hello. So, it's been kind of a long evening. I sat down after uploading my videos and I started outlining like, so I know I've mentioned this a lot on here, but if you didn't know, my so-called Healthy Life channel is changing as of the 1st of December, which I think is Friday, and will be becoming, it's Friday. I'm almost positive it's Friday. And we'll be coming Peterisms, which is an all story time channel. And it was interesting because, well, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I just left my house and I was watching Shane Dawson's video about his dad. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But anyway, but then Alex came home and we ate together and watched The Real Housewives of Orange County Reunion Part 2. And then I did a live stream, and I am giving away Christmas cheapo boxes. So I'm doing a little giveaways on my live stream, so you should check it out. On Tuesday night, I will be on at 10 o'clock. On Wednesday night, I'll probably be on about 10 o'clock. Thursday night, I'll probably be on a little bit earlier. So the next 3 nights, I'm doing giveaways on my YouNow stream if you want to go check it out. But so yeah, it was a good night. And Alex made a little appearance in my YouNow stream. He's been doing that a lot more lately. It's funny, it's like when I was upstairs, he would never do it. And now that I'm down in the basement, he like comes down there and like does little appearances. So anyway, he was like trying to moon the camera, and I'm like, Alex, don't moon the camera or I'll get like penalized. But he didn't do it, so it wasn't on camera. But anyway, I was watching Shane Dawson's newest video, and I don't know if you guys know, I'm like a diehard Shane Dawson fan. I love him. I've watched him for a long time, and even through the bad hair days. But I think he is just such a creative genius and such a kind and endearing soul. And, you know, it's like, I love he and Ryland together because, you know, I watch so many of these YouTube couples where it's like, it's all about, oh, they're a cute couple or their couple goals or whatever. But you can tell that Ryland is like, I really don't like their contrived videos. I don't really like, you know, when they like script, you can kind of tell, like, not, like Shane very rarely scripts, I don't think, but like when the scene is kind of scripted, if that makes sense. I don't like that. But when it's just like them sitting there talking or whatever, and like one of my favorite videos of them together is actually when they do like drunk Q&A and Shane is drunk and Ryland's like, you can just really see Ryland in that moment, and he's very sweet, very like careful and protective of Shane, and I just really like that about the two of them. But and it's interesting because Shane almost seems, I mean, I don't know the ages of either of them. I think Shane's like 30 or 29, and I think Ryland might, I think he might be a little bit younger, but he seems a little bit older at times, like in his protectiveness of Shane, and Shane seems very much like a child, which is interesting because I kind of almost relate to that a little bit, like with Alex and I. Like, Alex is 12 years younger than me, but like sometimes he's so protective of me that it's almost like he's the older one, and but I don't know, their relationship is very endearing to me. And I was watching this video that Shane did where I haven't seen the second part because the second part hasn't come out yet. But he's doing, you know, this whole series where he goes back into his past from people that he's met, and or people that have been in his life, like his ex-girlfriend, and he's like, you know, like reconnecting with them and trying to talk about what went wrong or like what happened during that relationship or whatever. And so he decides to go and meet up with his dad. Now, if you watch Shane's videos, he's had a very conflictual relationship with his father. His father left when he was really young, and he was raised by his single mother, and then he had a brother as well. And so, or he has a brother as well. So it's interesting that he's choosing to do this, and he really, what I love, okay, about YouTube is, and this is my issue with the Tanas and the Gigi's and all of the people out there, like, if you cannot open up and get raw and vulnerable for the camera, like, your entertainment value has nothing for me. And like, comedians the most, I think people miss that, but like, some of our greatest comedians are those that have been the most willing to open up and be vulnerable. You know, and when I think about some of the greatest comedians that have ever lived, you know, like, for me, some of the greatest comedians, like Monique, or Roseanne, or, and I know people don't like Roseanne anymore, but I still love her, and, you know, Carol Burnett, and, Eddie Murphy, you know, and John Belushi, and, you know, some of these comedians, you know, Gilda Radner and Gene Wilder, and these comedians that were some of the, you know, funniest, greatest people we have ever had out there, you know, have had some very tragic stories, and it's about turning your wounds into wisdom. And I think, you know, what's so fantastic about this video, and Shane kind of cries at the end of it, it's just so endearing, and he just allows himself to be on camera, and it's just, it's such a moment, a profound moment. And he talks in there about how when he was a little kid, you know, his dad left, his parents got divorced, he was very depressed, and so he started eating a lot, he became morbidly obese. But then that kind of spurned him into being creative, and if none of that had happened, basically what he's saying is if none of that had happened, he wouldn't be where he was today. And I love when people have that aha moment and they realize that, you know? I mean, I'm sure he realized that long before today, but I love when people get that, right? That there's this interconnectedness in life, this red string that goes through life, that like all of these moments have to be connected for us to end up where we're at. And I just think it's beautiful, and I think it's fantastic. And to be able to come full circle and, you know, pull the monsters out from underneath the bed and stare at them in the face and say, I'm not afraid of you, or at least I'm willing to try to not be afraid of you. And If you haven't read Patrick Ness's A Monster Calls, there's a movie about it too. It's fantastic, and I don't want to tell you what it's about if you don't know what it's about, but it's about this little boy, and there's a monster outside of his house that comes to visit him every night. And the monster is representative of something in his life. And this book is, I mean, to tell you, so beautiful. And, you know, I think as children, we don't know what to do with that pain. But, like, you grow up, and I think, like, you know, it's interesting him talking about his dad, and I think about, like, my issues that I've had with my own dad, or issues I've had with my mom and stuff like that. And he says in there, you know, that as you get older and you reflect on your life, you start to realize, you start to see things differently, you know, and what he doesn't say, and what he doesn't allow himself, the growth that he's had, because there's some powerful growth there for him to be able to see that, is that you first have to let go of anger and resentment, and you have to be able to be willing to see people as human beings, you know, and to see that people really at their core do the best they can do. You know, but like once you've been shown it in your face, like once somebody has like shown you the truth and you still ignore it, that's when it's a problem, right? It's like all of these people I talk about in my drama channels, it's like, you know, listen, like and people always think like I hate them. No, I don't hate them, okay? My issue is please learn and grow from the mistakes that you've made. When you've been shown the truth and you deny the truth and you refuse to grow, then you are not teachable. And you will, at some point, all of this will stop. And so you want to always remain teachable in everything in life, you know? Not just about, you know, not just what current career you're in or things that are happening for you or you know, whatever creative passion or outlet you have or relationship that you're in or whatever, but you want to do it in life. You want to remain teachable and remain open to that. And I was listening to him talk, and he was talking about how his dad, you know, didn't know how to be a father. And I thought about that a lot with my mom. It's like, you know, my mom is an alcoholic. I had this moment yesterday when I was in my basement, and I was like going through some old stuff, and I was like, you know, I wonder if my mom, like I've talked a lot about this on here now, so like this is not a kitchen secret anymore, but I found out after my mom had died that my mom's mom went to prison twice, and I didn't know that. She went to prison for embezzlement, and it's kind of a joke between my friend Tanya and I, because now Tanya refers to my grandma as my jailbird grandma. But you know, like my grandma, my whole life knowing her, was a very hardworking, loving woman, right? That got up every day and was a bookkeeper and worked very, very hard and all this kind of stuff. And you know, now, I mean, it makes so much sense looking back, but I think, you know, my mom's dad died when she was 4. Her mother went into prison when she was in high school. I can't imagine what that was like, you know? And then she grows up, and my mother also had, you know, abuse history, sexual and physical, and so it's like you grow up with all of that, and what do, you know? And if you have a genetic predisposition for addiction, well, then it makes sense that maybe you'll just drink, and maybe that's what my mother did with her pain. I don't know, you know? It's like years ago I saw this Oprah, when Oprah interviewed all these women that had killed their infant children. And she shared on the show, she said, you know, this woman came up to me afterwards that I had interviewed, and she said to us, or she said to me, Oprah, why don't you hate us? And Oprah looked at her and she said, hate you? She said, no, I don't hate you. See, because that's what you do with your pain, but I do something different with mine. And, you know, I think that's so true in life, is that we all do things differently with our pain. And the reality is that some people just aren't ready to be parents, you know? And I have to believe that my mom loved me very much, but at times even that wasn't enough. And, you know, she did the best that she could with the resources that she was given. And I remember one time, well, 2 things, but I remember one time my mom said to a counselor that I had, he was coming down hard on her for doing something wrong or not setting a boundary or a limit or whatever, and she leaned across and she looked at him and she said, let me tell you something. She said, you know, if there was a book that said read page 1 through 100 and your child will turn out perfect, there aren't a lot of parents that wouldn't read that, no matter how shitty the parent is. You know, and I think there's not a lot of parents out there that haven't had that moment where they're just, they don't really know what to do, and wouldn't it be nice if they could just like leave and just escape, you know? And I think as you get older, you really start to understand that. You look back on your life, you look back on the mistakes you made. You know, I'm at the age right now where I could have raised a family. I'm 45, I could have had a kid at 20. I could have had a kid at 18. I could have a 25-year-old right now, you know? And I look back on my life right now and I think, was I ready at 20? Was I ready at 25 or 30? You know, I don't know that I really even grew up until my mom passed away and I was 36. I'm like, you know, I look back on that and I think, was I really ready? Could I have raised a family? Would I have known what I was doing? You know, I've been in 3 major relationships since I was 22. I'm not real great at the relationship thing. You know, it's taken me 3 rounds and finally I've got it figured out, you know? And it isn't always easy for Alex and I. I've talked a lot about that on here, you know, and I don't know, I'm just, you know, as someone who has watched Shane from afar, I'm so happy for him, and I hope he gets, you know, either the closure or the reconciliation that he's looking for. And when I worked in social services, I remember I worked with this judge at the time. He was phenomenal. His name was Judge Payne, and he was the director of family services for a while in the state of Indiana. Incredible judge. And before that, he was a juvenile court judge. And I also got to work with Judge Bonaventura from Lake County. And she was the judge for the show Juvies on MTV. And both of them, and then she became the director for the Division of Family Services of the Department of Family Services for the state of Indiana. And you know, both of them, I got to hear them both speak about the importance of reunification. And both of them talked about how, you know, taking a child out of a home, no matter how horrible that home environment is, if they're getting 3 meals a day and they have clean bedding to sleep in, and parents are willing to get counseling, it's better than removing them from the home, or better than, you know, taking the family and dissecting it, because those children are forever affected by that. They're forever affected by an absent parent. And we want to talk about addiction, and we want to talk about death, and we want to talk about abuse and sexual abuse and all this stuff, but we don't often talk about how much children are affected by abandoned parents. And I mean to tell you that the one consistent, I think, that I saw of all of my years of working in treatment was children who had an abandoned family member. You know, a father and a mother that had died, and a father who left, and they were raised by their grandparents, or they were raised by their grandparents from birth because their parents just couldn't handle it. I had so many grandparents as parents. I had so many aunts and uncles as parents. I mean, you know, like when I hear stories about like, well, you know, my mom is really not my mom, she's really my grandma, or, you know, my mom's not really my mom, she's really my aunt, and, you know, my aunt is really my sister's really my mom, and, you know, I hear all these stories. They're not weird to me. They're not weird to me at all. I've grown up hearing those stories for the last 22 years working, you know, with families, and we do the best we can as families, you know, and I don't know, you know, I was just talking to Tanya tonight, and we got in a little bit of a disagreement about a friend of ours, and I said, you know what, I think that's who she was 10 years ago, but I don't think that's who she is today. And Tanya said, yeah, you're probably right. And I said, I think that everybody deserves a chance to change, you know, even if it takes 20 years sometimes. I mean, hell, I am not the person I was 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, let alone 20 years ago. So I don't know, I just thought it was such a phenomenal video, and I thought, you know what, I wish we had more videos like this on YouTube. This is what we need, okay? Enough of this shit. The fako story times. I mean, we need funny videos, don't get me wrong, we all need that because we all want to escape. But I can escape into somebody's real world and not have to, like, have it be at the expense of some huge prank or some bullshit story. I don't need that. I want something that's relatable. I want y'all to go watch this video of his. It's incredible. And I can't wait to see the follow-up of it tomorrow. So I know some of you guys are out there that are parents. You guys send me pictures of your kids and snaps of your kids all the time. It's tough. It's not easy. It's hard hard work. It's why I've decided never to be a parent, you know, because that's not number one on my priority list. It's not number 10 on my bucket list or my priority list. And for me to be a parent, I think it would have to be. You know, I don't want to be a parent that's just absent-minded. So, I don't know. Parents do the best they can, right? Did y'all see that picture of Pee-Pee that I put on my Instagram? He's so cute. All right, you guys, I will be back tomorrow. I love you. Bye.